Hi, welcome back to my channel. My apologies, because everybody's going to be saying, well, you're jumping all over the place. You're giving this and putting this out and putting that out. Well, my apologies, but that's how of an overthinker, overcreative person I am. I'm going to start a new mini series, and this is for just basic crochet stitching or stitches for beginners. I am teaching my manager. I had mentioned it in another video previously. I am teaching my manager how to crochet, and I wanted to at least share how I approach and how I do it. There are numerous videos out there. I understand that. We all have our different ways of doing things. We have our own style. But I'm doing this to help my manager, so when I try to teach at work and we're constantly getting interrupted, it's a little difficult. So I figured, let me start doing some basic videos, tutorials, and hopefully I can help others out there who want to learn, and we'll just get the basics down. Tonight, I'm going to be sharing on how to start the beginning chain for pieces to be crocheted in rows. We're going to start out slow. We're going to take our time, and as long as it takes, I'm going to help the best I can sharing these videos. If you have questions or comments, please leave them in the section down below. I've always asked that we stay positive with comments, giving each other support, and I'll be willing to answer the questions to the best of my ability. I am not a teacher. I am not a professional, but I've been doing this since 2000. I started 2010, but actually didn't start my channel until 2012. So I've been doing this for about 14 years. And there were times where I was very uncomfortable even doing something like this. But I have enough that I built up my confidence with crochet that I am willing to share on how I approach things and how I take them and work with them. Everybody has their own unique way of doing things, and how to hold the crochet hook, how to hold the yarn, how to get your tension. The only thing that I ask is, I'm not asking you to go out and buy anything unless you need to, or if you can get something at a secondhand shop. Use what you have. Do the best that you can. You find your way of being comfortable of holding that hook, holding that yarn. The only thing, again, going back to the only thing I ask, if you realize that your stitches are too tight, I would go up a size in your crochet hook. If you're too loose of a crocheter, then I go down a size. And you'll get the feel of it. Right now, if you can get a skein of yarn reasonable, all acrylic, go by what's recommended on that crochet hook or that label. So if it calls for an I 5.5 millimeter, I would then buy that hook, or if you have that hook, but keep the J and H hook nearby. This way you can you can see where you're at as far as how your tension goes, if that helps, okay? So right now I'm going to show you how to, and I'm going to demonstrate on how to do a beginning chain for rows. I'm hoping to do 3 styles of this, so I want to get myself ready. What we're basically going to do, and I'm going to do the best that I can here, is we're going to start off by making a slip knot. And how I do that is I wrap the yarn around my finger like that. Again, let's do it one more time. I'm wrapping around, okay? I'm taking the top strand, pulling it over the other strand, pulling it through, and there's my slip knot. Okay? I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to take my yarn, here's my end, my tail, and give it about 6 inches or more. I mean, it's going to be there, but when we start crocheting, we got to make sure we're not working on that tail or off that tail. So you're going to take your yarn, you're going to wrap it twice over your finger. You're going to pull the back loop over the front loop, pull it up, It's almost like you're making a slingshot, and then you'll pull it up and there's your slip knot, okay? And then I'm just going to pull this so I have enough wiggle room so I can start making chains. I'm going to make a chain of 21, okay? In fact, you know what, we're not going to do a chain of 21. We're going to do a chain of 15. So let's do a chain of 15. I'm going to make it just a short sample here, a small swatch. So as you see, again, just have enough that your yarn slides so you have enough gap. You're not too open like this, but you're not too tight that you can't move it, okay? You just want enough give in that loop. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through the loop. That's your first chain. And you're going to continue to do that until you get a chain of 15. Why a chain of 15? Well, that extra chain there is going to be your turning chain. I originally, when I started doing this and helping my manager, I was doing the chain of 21. And then you only have 28 chains. But this way, on the video, I want to make it a little shorter. So we're going to continue to do this until we get a chain of 15. I'm going to pause this video and I'll be right back till I can show you the next step. Okay. I completed my chain of 15. So this is what we're going to basically do. Like I said, I'm going to try to get 3 small swatches into this tonight. All right. So the chain on your hook does not count. Okay. This does not count. This is your first chain here. Okay, let me take this off for a minute. I'm going to just pull this out so it won't go nowhere. Okay. So here's your first chain, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. Okay. And you see here, you have like a V shape. Okay. What we're going to do on this first swatch, if I can get my hook back in there, the first thing we're going to do is work on the top loop only. Now you're asking, well, what's the top loop? There's 3 stitches here, if you want to consider it. The very first stitch here that you go through, that's your top loop. Okay? If you look at your work this way, you see that there's another gap here. That's your V stitch that you work both loops. Okay? And then finally, if you turn your work over, you see these little bumps, and these are the back bumps. And you would go in this way. If I can get my hook in there, this is your back bump. And these are a little tricky, especially when you're working on camera until you get that first one started. So once you get that back bump in, I'm going to try to get it in there. There we go. Once you start doing your back bumps, then they'll all start popping up enough that you can grab them, okay? So right now we're going to just work on the top loop. Let me get on camera here. So again, we're only going through the top loop, not both here, just that top loop. You're going to make sure that you still have enough room that you're sliding up and down your hook. You're going to yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. That is a single crochet. Again, top loop only. Make sure that your tension is good, that you are sliding, you don't have anything flopping, the stitches don't have huge gaps. You're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. That is a single crochet. Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of a gapping here, but that's because you're working in the top loop. I try to pull all my yarn, still got that tension going. Okay, Again, top loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and you got to watch where your stitches are. Yarn over, pull through 2. All right, I'm going to do one more. You're going to go into that top stitch. You're going to yarn over. You're going to make sure you got your wiggle room. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to finish the rest of this row here, and I'll meet you up at the end. Okay, I just finished the remainder of my first row here. And you're going to roll, you're just going to like bring it, roll it to the, you see the top. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 is that turning chain, okay? When you are finished with that row, you're going to chain 1, which will not count. It's just to give you the height. Now, to continue with the rest of your rows, you want to do a single crochet. This time, though, you're going in both the loops. So if it helps, turn to the top of your work and you see the V stitches, okay? Again, we're going to yarn over, pull through. Make sure you still have enough that your tension's not tight, not too loose. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2. You can see where you have a gap, or you see where the hole is to get your hook in. If you still want to turn to the top of your work, make sure that you have both loops. Let me get this in focus here. Make sure you have both loops, okay? Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so as my manager remembered it, is you have one loop when you're going in. Now you have 2 loops. When you yarn over, you're going to yarn over, pull through, and you're back to 1 loop. And that's what makes it easy for him to understand the single crochet. 1 loop turns into 2 loops back to 1 loop, if that helps. I mean, it's a little trick if you want, it's memorizing. So again, go through both loops, yarn over, pull up a yarn, pull your yarn and loop and pull through both loops. Go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Next stitch, go into it, making sure you have both stitches, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to continue to the other end, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm at my last 2 stitches. So you see I have a loop here, or a stitch here and a stitch here. Remember, that's the turning chain. You don't want to forget that stitch. That's why if you're a beginner and you get a little, that you just like stop one short, this will make it helpful that you see that you have 2 stitches. So you can at least keep going. So I'm going to go in second to last. And then I'm going to keep this way so I can see it. And now you can see I'm going through 1 loop. I'm going through the second loop of that V. Keep my tension on my yarn, yarn over, and pull through both stitches, okay? And that's the end of your second row of single crochet. I'm going to do one more row with you on camera, and then I'm going to end this video. So this is going to be my daily crochet stitching, so my basic stitching for beginners. So I'm just going to break it down, do it slowly, and put out as much as I can to help those that are new to this or just getting into it. Again, there's other videos out there I'm just showing you how I approach it and how, you know, I take it on to where I'm comfortable on showing you how I do it. There's no, everybody again has their own way of doing it. You have to get and feel comfortable on how you're approaching, how you're holding the hook, how you're holding your yarn, how you're keeping your tension in that, okay? So I'm at the end. I'm going to chain one. Again, does not count. Oops. Does not count. Chain one, turn my work. Now you can see the stitches a little bit better because now you're really building up on your rows. Again, if you want to turn your work over, there's the V stitch. You're going to go in, making sure you have both stitches. You're going to yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through two. Next stitch, go through both loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two. Next stitch, under both loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two loops. And you're going to continue this back and forth. You can make it as long as you want, on how many rows you want. This is going to be your swatch. And this will be something that you can always look back on if you get stuck, especially for the beginners of crocheting. Okay, I'm going in both loops, yarn over, pulling up two. Okay, going through both loops, yarn up, pulling up, yarn over, pull through two. Next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two. And just remember, at the end of each row, you're going to chain one, turn your work. That chain one does not count. That's just giving you the height for that row. Okay. This is where I will stop the video for tonight. I will work on the next video, and you just do a chain one. You're going to cut your work, pull your loop through, and then you'll have your loop. So this is the top loop only of starting your chain to start crocheting in rows. Okay, so this is the first one. Again, this is on how to get your beginning chain for pieces to be crocheted in rows. And we are starting off with single crochet only, top loop only. Next video, we're going to do the exact same thing, but this time we're going to be working through that V stitch, which is the top loop plus the back hump. The next video will be the same thing, only we are working in the back hump only, and then you're basically just doing single crochets back and forth, and we'll see the difference a little bit. Excuse me, not too much, but you'll see the difference on how everything turns out. Now when you look at the bottom of this, you can see it's clean, you know, clean enough, but you want it to look like this. And how to get it to look like this is when we start working in the back hump or the back loop only. So again, you'll see that when I start doing that video. So this is episode 1, the basics of your beginning chain for single crochet, top loop only. And then I'll just continue this little mini series up until where I'm comfortable enough to, I don't want to like get it all into advanced, but I'm going to get you through single crochet, half double, double, and treble. And I think I may just pause for a moment and then try to do some in the rounds, and we'll take it from there. But I just want to start this slow with the process and see how it goes. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's helpful. Again, any questions, please leave them in the comments section down below. I appreciate you, your support, your words, your comments, and I look forward to our next conversation. Thanks for coming back. You take care now and have a great evening.